Hello, Hateless Gaming here, bringing you a start of a series, I guess, the beginning of a series. We are going to go ahead and go for a level 99 character in Diablo 2 Resurrected. I wanted to do this for a very long time. I've been playing Diablo 2 since I was a teenager. I was like 16 when I started playing it, so almost 18 years now. And I've never gotten a character to level 99. It's a enormous grind. The highest I've ever gotten, legitly, was level 93. And we have already achieved level 93 on a paladin. And when I hit level 3, I started looking into, again, how long it actually takes to get to level 99 and what is the requirements. And 93 is roughly 2% of the way there. So I kind of thought about it and I was like, I don't really want to do a hammered in all the way to 99. So I built another character that I thought would be more fun, and I've been really enjoying getting it to level 90. So we're going to kind of head on and start actually going for the grind. And I'm going to kind of make a vlog and kind of update you guys on highlights of things that we find, scary things that happen, close calls, stuff like that, and kind of give you a log of how it's been going and how it is, because it is a long grind. It's a lot of fun, and I know people love watching people progress through things, and this is a pretty crazy challenge. I'm going to go over my build real quick and kind of show you guys what I'm doing and why I picked this build, because it's a fun one. Anyways, we have Bring Out Your Dead, and he is a Necromancer. We're already level 93, where I would call day 4 of this, and I've been trying to make this video right, I guess, and I keep on doing it the wrong way, so I'm just doing it the classic way that I know how. I'm going to tell you what we found in our first 4 days. So far, we found a low rune, a jaw rune, and a goal rune, as well as a few items that we've been giving away on stream. I give away most of what I find, and I trade off the rest for upgrades down the road. I have been playing with variants of the build. This is a Necro Summoner with I'm going to go over the skills and the stats, or I'm going to go over the skills, and then I'm going to go over the gear that I've chosen and why I've chosen it, and then I will go over the and then I'll go over the stats last, because the stats are based on the gear. So first off, we're a summoner. We have summons. So we have max points into Skeleton Mastery, Raise Skeleton, and Skeletal Mage. Then we put 1 point into Revive, which requires Clay Golem, Blood Golem, and Iron Golem. And then we put 1 point into Summon Resist, which requires Golem Mastery. And then in Poison and Bone, we have completely maxed out Corpse Explosion, and I put 1 point into Bone Armor. It's not that great, but it does suck up a little bit of damage here and there. And then we put 1 point into Crepify, which requires Terror and Weaken and Amp Damage. Amp Damage is our most used spell, and we use Decrepify versus bosses. This is really helpful in accelerating boss kills and making the bosses less dangerous to us. This build is capable of doing Ubers. I haven't attempted it yet, but it is capable. We may make an attempt in the future. And then the rest of our points go into Golem Mastery. This makes our Iron Golem more durable, and I'll explain the Iron Golem in just a moment. We use Iron Golem if we don't have our Iron Golem up, or if our Iron Golem dies. He gets we summon up a Clay Golem, and the slow helps deal with monsters, but we lose Insight. So what you can do is you can go to your stash, and if you summon a Golem out of Insight, so you put the Insight on the ground, and then you would select your Golem skill and then summon and cast it on the Insight, and it will take on the attributes of Insight. And that is why my Clay Golem here has the Meditation Aura on him, because he's summoned off of an Insight. And that's what gives me the Meditation Aura. The Merc build is pretty standard. We have an Infinity Thresher. This is a really bad roll that I got as cheaply as possible. And the reason we picked Infinity is it lowers monster defenses, which is really helpful for having our skeletons hit more often. It has 40% crushing blow, which I know you guys just barely can't see over my face. This is what kills the bosses for us. Believe it or not, the Merc is the one killing the bosses. That's his job. That's all he does. His job is to kill bosses. And then the Conviction also lowers enemy fire res, making Corpse Explosion more powerful. Having a strong Corpse Explosion makes this build go fast. And so that's why I like Infinity over I like Infinity over the alternative, which is Pride. You could put Pride in this slot, but Pride is also Ohm and a Sur, so it's almost as expensive as Infinity anyways, so why not? We don't have the ideal helm yet. I'm still looking for an Endariel's Visage. But in the meantime, we have a Vampire Gaze. I'm thinking about sticking a 15 IAS Jewel in this, but I don't know if it's necessary. I think we already hit the max breakpoint. And then I do prefer Treachery over Fortitude until you can get the Andariels, at least. So we have a Treachery and an Archon plate that I actually just found last night. This gives 45% increased attack speed and then gives him Fade, which adds to his resistances and to his durability because it also gives 20% damage reduction. Treachery is an amazing piece for your Merc until you get that insane piece that is the Ith Fortitude for him, as Ith Fortitude costs so low. Now, my build is somewhat expensive. I know we've already talked about an insane Merc. I would say that the Merc is more expensive because of the Infinity than any one piece of this, but when we combine this, my character is a bit more expensive than the Merc. We start out with the B stacks. There's a few ideal things that you can put in this slot. The first is the B stacks, and the second is a Hodem. And then I have a preference when I'm playing in solo games to put on a Isted Wiz Spike. I have a Wizard Spike with an Ist. But the Beast Rune Word gives us the most damage, and I notice a significant difference in killing speed when I take the Beast off and put on the Wizard Spike, or take the Beast off and put on a Hodo. This gives no FCR. It doesn't give any resist. It doesn't give any plus skills. What it does give is that level 9 Fanaticism, which gives us an increase of 93% damage to all of our skeletal minions. And then also increases our attack speed by 23%. This also kicks my Merc over into the next breakpoint, which is insane. So my Merc is more devastating with that crushing blow and the really fast attack speed that he has. He just eats bosses alive. It's really fantastic. This is a massive support to when you're playing with other characters if they're melee classes or trap sims. They don't need to go into burst of speed. Like, it just helps everybody out that's in your party. It's really neat. It's great when you start having multiple people together, and the fanaticism really adds up. In the offhand, we have Homunculus. And the reason that we picked Homunculus is because it gives max block, or you can achieve max block with it on a Summon Necro, and I like the max block as it keeps you alive in a lot of situations where you otherwise wouldn't be alive. And then we have a Mara's Kaleidoscope, a Bone Band, which this is a unique find. I like this piece a lot. It was self-found. We actually found this yesterday again. It's 10 FCR, 38 to life, 57 mana, 21 fire res. This is amazing for a sorceress, and I plan on keeping it for a sorceress. Alternatives include Nagel Ring and Balkathos, which I have a Balkathos hanging around, and then I have a Nagel Ring in the other slot. But this gives us, with the Triangle's Scales and Arachnid's Mesh, this gives us 50 FCR, which the breakpoint is 48. So without that 10 FCR ring, we would be at breakpoint below, and I find that hitting 50 FCR is good. If you want, you can hit the 75 FCR. If you switch this for Wizard Spike, you can drop the Caster Ring and put on another Nagel Ring. And then you can also drop this and put on MF Gloves, Chances, and get crazy MF, just completely stacked out the wazoo for MF. And you can get really strong with that. Or you can go for the 75 FCR breakpoint, again, using the Wizard Spike. You can even hit, if you're looking to hit the 75 FCR breakpoint while using Beast, you're going to need a 35 FCR Spirit Monarch, which our character is geared to carry. However, we lose max block whenever we run the Spirit Monarch. I feel like max block is a little bit better than faster hit recovery. So I'd imagine for PvP, the Spirit Monarch's probably better. But the 35 FCR Spirit Monarch is a good alternative to Homunculus, but I like Homunculus because it has better res. The base Homunculus, ours has an ist in it, has plus 40 res. I know this gives plus 35, so it's 5 additional res, and then it doesn't leave you with that fire hole. And the fire hole is scary, especially if you want to run the Travinkle, which we love running the Travinkle. So the Homunculus versus Spirit argument is always there. There are reasons why Homunculus is better, max block. There are reasons why Spirit's better, better hit recovery, faster cast frames. They both have their pros and cons. When we get into really big games, I like to run the in the Homunculus. That's why I have 2 of them. The Homunculus gives me a lot more durability, and then I can hit stack res with the Homunculus plus the Wizard Spike. So I have a few variations, kind of depending on the situation, to kind of be safer or be a little bit more reckless, higher speed. So I can kind of tinker with my durability a little bit with a couple little easy swaps. I mentioned earlier we have a Spiderweb Sash, and these need to be replaced. These are Ethereal War Travs. My buddy got really unlucky and found some War Travs with 50 MF that were Ethereal, and he decided to just pass them over to me to use until I get my actual War Travs. I got these at 38 durability, they're at 34, and we have done the grind wearing them from level 91 to 92 and a half. So they're lasting a while, and I expect them to last until about level 94, at which point I'll need to get better ones. The charm inventory is pretty self-explanatory. We got a Necro Torch and an Anilius Charm. This is a level 99 build. I bought a 10% Anilius Charm, not caring about the other stats. So we got the best charm we could afford. It's a 10-14-10. It's a really bad charm, but it's really good because it has 10 experience, and this is why I'm leveling up so fast. It helps a lot. And then we have a Geed's Fortune. This one was self-found. It's a 38-15, which I really appreciate. And then we have 4 Necro Summon Grand Charms. I'm looking for plus lifers I'm looking for 3 plus lifers to fill this inventory, but they're hard to find. I've been trying to look for them on D2JSP. I'm willing to pay some foreign gold for it, but that's kind of the last piece that I really want before we start looking at gear upgrades, because as we look for a better Enigma, or we're not really going to get a better Maras, but a better ring, or the caster and amulet that I want to be able to wear 2 SOJs, 2 MF rings. We're going to be crafting caster ammies for that. But just looking for better pieces. On swap, of course, we have the Call to Arms and a random Monarch. This is not a 35 FCR Monarch, but it is a random Spirit Monarch. And Call to Arms, again, better gear is nice, especially when you're doing long grinds to 91, and having a 1 battle orders costs us a lot of life. So, like I said, my gear is not quite ideal. For small charms, we have lifers, and then we have this self-found 11 fire res 6 MF small charm, which gives me max fire res in this configuration, or almost max fire res. This helps against the Travinkle a lot, and I found this variant to be quite a bit fun. Although I only have 300 MF rather than 400 that I would have stacked with the dropping the FCR ring and putting on this and going a little bit slower. I like the extra speed. This is kind of the mix that I found that I enjoy. I'm going to show you guys how this build functions real quick before we just kind of leave you guys high and dry. And then I'm going to kind of give you guys updates from day to day as we go on. But the first thing I always do every game, even in player 8 games, come here, summon up. So we're going to go these guys. We run amp damage. We blow up a body or 2, and that'll equal everything dead. And then we're going to go ahead and cast our body armor, and then we're going to start summoning up, as we're going to use up all these bodies to summon up our army. So with this build, we get 14 skeletons. You can tell things die pretty quick. And we're going to go ahead and cast the amp damage here again. Blow up a couple bodies. Everything's dead now. We're going to check the loot. And then we're going to go ahead and summon up our mage. So now we have 28 skellies. Go ahead and check these bramble mitts and these greater claws, see if they're anything good, because they are worth checking. Those are ethereal. They're not going to be good. You can summon revives. I don't have a preference to summoning revives. But I'll go ahead and show you how this build functions. Chaos. All right. So we have a barb here with us. But I'm going to show you guys how this build functions. outside of that. So we just kind of teleport up. I got Enigma. If you guys didn't guess, I've got Enigma. We just kind of teleport up, and then we blow up a body, and then it blows up the whole screen. Rinse and repeat. Just kind of tally up. Cast amp damage. Once something dies, we blow it up, and then it equals dead bodies. This can clear every area of the game. Just kind of doing this. We just cast our amp damage. We blow up all the bodies, and we just kind of laugh our way forward. So we're just going to cast amp damage everywhere. And once something dies, we start blowing things up with F2. Oh, I'm casting Decrepify. I screwed that up a little bit. Eternal's going to catch up here. And Eternal's my buddy. He's a barb, and we like to run together. But he's a crazy barb. He's geared equally as crazily as I am. And he's got swaps and everything. I'm just going to cast amp damage. That does help him as well. So with him helping me kill, we get some goodies. Actually spelled that treachery in my merc this morning, so that shield will help with that. I already have bodies here, so we can just blow them up. We're going to check that amulet for a plus skills, plus magic find, because I do want to add a additional magic find in the Ami, if possible. So now that we have Eternal here, he'll help me kill the first thing. And we get to hide behind all these bodies. If you notice, whenever I teleport onto something, I step out of the stack and go backwards. And that gives me a lot of protection from getting killed. And if I land on something, the entire stack of pets will instantly kill them. There's a random jewel there. And if you guys haven't noticed, we kind of synergize together. I cast amp damage, and it helps deal more damage. But that's just kind of how the build works. It's really simple. I'll go ahead and go over stats real quick. We have enough strength to wear gear, and then enough dexterity to achieve max block, which is 75%. And then we have the rest into vitality. I'm going to cast battle orders over my buddy here, and he'll recast them because that's how I tell him, because we're not on voice together. I would love to go over his barb one day, because his barb is amazing. He's gotten the throne up, so we're going to go ahead and show how strong Corpse Explosion is here. How this works is I'll cast amp damage. He has a really high damage attack. Amp damage doubles his damage. And I blow up the first thing that he kills. We end up, even in like player 8 games, we'll end up nearly instant for each Bale Wave between the two of us. And we found a nice little synergy, and we both enjoy grinding, so we've just kind of been at it. Is what we do. I'll ID this charm. There's a Grim Helm. Can't remember what that is. It's another Vampire Gaze. Is that an upgrade? Yes, no. I wish. They're lesser than the one I'm wearing. The important stat on Vampire Gaze is the life leech, and that one had 7 or 6, and the one I have has 8. And that's how insane this build is. And I feel really comfortable at the 50 F or the 48 FCR breakpoint compared to the 30 FCR breakpoint, or 48 FCR over 30, because 30 is the one below it. It just feels a little too slow, and I'm really finding I like the 50 with the max block and the beast. It's a good mix of speed and damage for Telly, and you don't need a lot of speed. It's really just for Telly. As not really much else helps. Anyways, that's how quickly we go. It's pretty fantastic. It's a lot of fun. And That's my summon necro. That's what we plan on going for level 99. And I'll keep on giving you guys updates as to how the days go. But we're 4 days into the grind. I started counting days at level 89, and today is day 4. Or so we've done 3 days. We are so far at level 92 and about 65%. And we'll be trying for level 94 or 93 today, and then hopefully 94 by the end of the week, I think is doable, and then 95 within a couple weeks. But that's where we're at. Make sure you guys continue to bring each other up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.